Hello, Chris back again with some more 2 Point Campus. And today I'm going to be starting off with, just recapping Upper Etching and then getting into Blundergard, where it looks like we're doing with Spies. So let us continue on. Since the last video, when I got the third and final star in year 6, I did a little bit of work for Upper Etching and got up to year 16 completed just by rushing through a few things. So I tried something a little bit different in this level. I tried making bigger rooms at the end because I wasn't rushing for stars and trying to up the prestige, and it really is different from my normal playstyle where I do much more compact rooms and not really narrow hallways, but not big enough that they essentially have a ton of room to move, and then sort of filling it up with a few things. So I did a little bit of adjustment in some of the buildings that I had and just kind of moved a few rooms around. Problem is, like I said, I don't really, I'm not really good at making just the oversized room. So I did that with the training room. There's 6 machines in there. It's Prestige 16 or 13, and I probably could add a bit more to it, but like making the big lecture theaters, the bigger music room, uh, bigger staff room, bigger marketing room. It just really doesn't fit with my style so much. So I think I'm gonna, when I start Blundergard, I'm gonna basically play similar to how I was before because it feels for this one especially. It feels like you had so much room to work with, and you can only really fit so much into a level. I mean, there is a cap for students, and I think it is somewhere around the 220 mark because I think we are essentially capped at students right now. I was last couple years I was seeing that I was basically reaching that limit. And it looks like I'm not right now because a bunch of students are leaving. But anyway, I put all the clubs. It's just, I kind of ran out of things to put in. Like, I put all the clubs in, I started throwing out kiosks and everything. And it's just, for this level, once you get high enough, you're essentially looking for things to kind of pour money into. And you can only do so much. I mean, I had people training all the time. They were getting the invaders out and getting that 30 or 10,000 mark every time. And I was even hiring more and more staff, and it's just like, geez, I at a certain point, I really don't know what to do in a level. It's done, and it's time to move on. So, that said, now it's time to continue on with the game and start working towards some more stars. So, Blundergard is, I'm guessing, a spy school. It is the one just after, so essentially I'm just going in order. I don't know whatever the last one that has to be unlocked is. It might be after I unlock or finish all these 3, at least 1 star. But we'll see. Anyway, Blundergard. Protect the county's secrets by expelling moles and training the spies of tomorrow. Starting funds 200,000. So, I think this should be a pretty fun level. Yeah, I got a few new... The harp that you unlock, I was even throwing that all over the campus, and I mean, if you looked at the window from just a minute ago, I was sitting at 4 million. And like I said, I mean, unless I just copy and paste rooms and put a whole bunch of useless ones in, there's nothing left to do for that level. And I was trying to fill it up, but if I'm not working towards something, it feels like it kind of gets boring in this game just playing without any real goal in mind. You have to actually be doing something in this. Alright, so it looks like we have 2 campuses. Okay. Welcome to Roach Burger, the county's favorite roach-themed, roach-free burger joint. Don't get too hungry, though. This particular branch is actually a cover for the 2 Points Secret Service. You'll be running the Special Agent Training Campus. Unfortunately for you, and for everyone really, the county's enemies have realized they can infiltrate our operation by applying right to the campus. I know, sneaky, right? Yes. So, it looks like they're bringing back Gastronomy, and we also have Spy School. 20 students are set to come in. That's obviously going to be something that we change. Now, so it looks like this student is Chili. So with this level, we're probably going to have to do radiators again. Nice little setup here. Decent sized looking kitchen, and it comes with everything that we really need. So I'm probably going to keep this kitchen. But as far as the campus goes, let's just quickly see what we can extend. So we have a fair bit of room to extend to all along here. So this campus is already a pretty good size. It looks like there's a lot of room to work with. The only thing we can't remove is this roach burger. Yeah, roach burger. All right, so that aside, let's see here. All right, so let's check out the plots. Let's do that. Oops, not that one. Okay, so plots. So we have one expansion right next to us. And okay, so that's not one. And okay, so 2 across the street, 4 across the street, and any more. Alright, so the main ones we're going to work with is just sort of in this area, and then if we have to extend out later, we can. But, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dormitory around here, and maybe move one of the doors over a little bit. That way when, okay, so I can't. Some of this stuff has to be deleted. Okay, sell that off. Alright, this stuff is not actually worth anything, it's just sort of just dummy type items. Okay, so I want the door placed over here, and this door is pretty close to this campus, so I can work with this a fair bit. It looks like there's not really any grass here. What are our options for that? No, I don't want to cancel, so let's save that and then go here. So it looks like all we can really put in is dirt and road as far as the path and terrain. That's not a big deal. For the most part, I guess I'll be using road. Maybe use dirt for some areas that I want to look almost park-like. But there's a lot of dummy items here. And yet, none of them seem to sell for anything. Garbage bin. Okay, so first we're going to need a gadget lab, a lecture theater, gastronomy teacher, and a spy school. So we want this to somewhat be the area that's going to be for schooling here, and maybe extend out here a little bit and let this be the front essentially. And then we want our living quarters around here. Napkin, that's the code word. Did no one tell you the code word? Let's just say I'm from the Secret Service and I'll visit periodically to relate information and see how you're doing. Actually, that's pretty much exactly what's going on over and out. Okay. Alright, so we're definitely going to need a staff room for sure. Good thing the game's paused. And yeah, like I said, this is going to be where I'm going to have the first expansion. It is 60,000, so that's not too bad. Now, I don't know if it's gone back to tuition. Let's just quickly check. So, for gastronomy, we're going to take in 8 students, and let's make it a little bit more expensive as far as the tuition goes. Okay, so we can't get to an even 8 unless we do that. And for spy school, we're going to get 10 applicants. It's level 1 as well. So, same thing, increase the cost a little bit, lower the student by 1. And there you go, learning rate is 100%, and you're getting a little bit more every month from students. How much more? 500 more per student. So that's pretty much one of the best bits of advice I can offer. Just always stay with the rule of 8, and for tuition, it doesn't really affect the happiness too much if you increase the cost a little bit. And it's up to whoever's playing if you want to go overboard with that, or if you want to just a little bit, or even lower the cost to try and make them happy if happiness is a real issue for yours. So let's start off with the dormitory, like I said, and we're going to want the dormitory in pretty much the upper quadrant. So we want at least 2 squares. Let's actually go with a little bit more. Let's go with a 4 square one, and then 6 by 6. Let's do a 6 by 9. This is where I'm going to put the shower. Put some nice little doors in. Happy little doors so they can go in and out of this dorm. And of course the wardrobe. So if we're taking in 16 students, we're going to need at least 4 beds. And I'm not going to start with one of the fancy ones just yet because we want to make sure that we have enough. Let's start with a green. Actually, let's put in a couple of the wardrobes first. And so we're going to put the wardrobes by the door just to get things a little bit different, and then put the garbage bin and the hand sanitizer next to those. So little garbage bin, and then the hand sanitizer. Put it right next to it. So it usually aligns with the middle of the square. Alright, so that basically takes care of that. And like with the previous levels, we're going to keep the build a little bit basic in the beginning, but we want at least 4 beds. So let's put them somewhat in the middle this time around. And yeah, let's put one there, one there. Oops, that's not quite lined up. And then to just copy an item without having to go back and click again, you just hold down the control button and click, and there you go. So we have our very basic dormitory. Now another shower room. And in the last level, I started changing up how I do showers. So if I put 3 against the wall, I can only fit 3. But if you turn it so it's this way in a 3x3 room, you can easily fit in 4 showers, and then it gives you room to put posters. It gives you room to put in the posters. You can put in the sink easily enough. And for the shower room, I don't think you really need this sanitizer, and I don't think you need the hand dryer. It's just, I keep trying to find out if the hand dryer really does anything. And maybe I'm missing the animation, I'm not completely sure. But it feels like whenever I see somebody use the shower or the bathroom, not to get like disgusting or anything, because I don't really watch that much, try not to anyway. It looks like they just maybe use the sink, but I don't see them use the hand dryer at all. So anyway, we also do need to put in radiators. So for the shower room, let's stick with the small one. And with this setup, if you hold down control, you can do the free movement and set it up so you have your radiator pretty close to the shower. And then for the bedroom, let's have a large radiator in because it takes a little bit more to heat up. So that heats it up quite nicely. And we have, I only put 1 door in. Let's fix that quickly before we get too far. So I want 1 door there, and I want 1 door over here. Oh no, I did put another door in. Let's put in 3 doors just in case for now, and that can always be fixed later. And then I can put the fancy bed, maybe move the radiator around at some point. But since the room is pretty well heated, I think at most I'll just need a small radiator just to get this little bit done. And there we go. So we have 2 wardrobes, 2 garbages, 2 hand sanitizers, 4 beds, and the shower already, so let's just accept that. Now, for the gadget room, we're going to put the gadget room here, and the lecture hall, actually, maybe we'll put the lecture theater in first, because it's the one that they want to use first, and maybe make it a 5x4. Now, 5x5 is pretty, actually, I think maybe a 5x4 might be more than enough. I mean, even in the last level, trying to make it a bit bigger, it's just I couldn't really get the prestige up very high for the lecture theater. The only thing I can really think to do is maybe make it a 6x4, because then it lines up a little bit prettier. But yeah, there we go. And so it needs a door, of course. And that way here you can fit 2 of the speakers instead of 1. We're not going to put any of those in right now. And I think the speakers are really a much better choice than the auto cue. Just because it's like no matter how I try and place the auto cue, I really don't like the way it looks in the room. It takes up kind of almost a whole square here. and it just feels like it looks clunky in my opinion. So the auto cue is just not really my favorite item to put in. I don't mind the whiteboard because it adds a bit more attractiveness, gets it up to 2, and then I kind of like filling it up with a few posters and maybe a garbage bin or something, but I feel like for the lecture theater, there's not a lot you can do without, like, they all kind of take on the same role. So let's put 2 garbages in. Actually, no, just 1 garbage and 1 door, and we'll put the lecture theater so it's there. All right, and then one of the first things we'll do is just hire. What do we have as far as staff? Do we have any staff starting? Oh, we do have a janitor, and he has maintenance. So let's get a janitor that has the mechanics skill, because the first thing we always want to do is upgrade that lectern. So we have a squeaky clean janitor. That's a good one to go with. And we're going to upgrade the lectern. So for this one, having 2 courses, and it's actually something I started doing after the year finished as well, is that if you want to play afterwards or if you want to train the teachers up, I started training them in both the musicality and the counterculture. For this, I'm debating on whether or not to do the same thing, where I'll train them with the spy skills that they're going to get, and maybe the cooking as well. That way, the teachers can always be doing something. It's not something that's set in stone yet. I may change that eventually. But for the time being, that's kind of a late game plan for this level. So now, since we have the lecture theater and that's set to be upgraded, let's see what this gadget room offers. So it has to be at least a 6x5, and this is 5 long, so let's make this 5 and then 5, 6. And it doesn't quite fit there. Well, it does fit there, but how far does this go? Let's quickly do a minor adjustment here. I'm just going to check something quickly. So the campus extends out to here. Now I might put another door down here and then just cut this off just to make it look a little bit cleaner. And then that gives me the option of extending it out a little bit if I need to later to put more things in. So what are some of the things that can be added to the gadget room? Let's quickly see here. So you can put in a tech table for 7,500, a drone table, chemical table, and is there anything that needs to unlock? Okay, actually quite a bit. So I guess the gadget rooms are going to be something that are going to take a fair bit of space. So since we have a lot of whoa, 7,900 kudosh, okay, we're just going to unlock these now. We're not necessarily going to put any of them in. But I mean, you look at some of these items, and similar to the computer lab from the last one, they're going to take up a fair bit of space. So I think I sort of jumped the gun, just lessening, like making the room a bit smaller. So I might as well try and fix that now. All right, so if we can increase the campus 2 blocks, and let's do it like that. And this is going to give lots of room for the campus building and give it a little bit more unique look to the actual building itself. And we sold a couple items, so let's just unpause, get this extended out, and then once that's done, then we'll move on to the next objectives for the prerequisite. So this room is now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's an 8 by 8 room now. And it seems like that's pretty big, but I would rather make it so that they can do a lot more with the room. Now, you always want your items to be fairly close to the door, but actually for your main item as well, you don't always want it so it's directly against the wall. That way students can use the whole thing. Now for this, can you copy a second one? So you can put a second one in if needed. It's really never needed though. But at least the option is there if you need to. Not every course allows that. So now we need a gastronomy teacher and a spy schools teacher. So it looks like the gastronomy is pretty good. So they have two washing stations, the chopping station, recipe, the saute, and the container cupboard. I think there's one other thing that you can add to this. So Mixing station, that's the one that's missing, I think. Yeah, they don't have a mixing station in, so let's quickly add that, and it doesn't quite line up. Okay, so that lines up pretty well, and since we did that, let's put the picture so it's not quite overlapping the other one there. We have our saute table, and that's pretty good. Is there a garbage bin in here? No, there's no garbage bin in here. Now, there are two different doors that you can do for the gastronomy station. I don't know if there's any benefit to that or not. I mean, in the cooking station, way back in level 2, I pretty much just used one. I just used the double door, and they do have a radiator in here. Let's just check what the temperature is. So the temperature is pretty good in here. It's not bad in here. Over here is where it's quite cold. I didn't put any radiators in, so let's quickly remedy that with a large and a small, and they can always be adjusted later. And then let's put a, let's see how the small does in here. Not great. So let's go with a large radiator for the lecture hall, and let's put it as close to that as we can. So it looks like that heats up the entire lecture hall. Now we just need a gastronomy teacher, and there's a couple other things we need before I like starting. I like to put in a bathroom, and so we have a pretty good gastronomy teacher right off the get-go. Now what about a spy teacher? Squeaky clean, excellent. Alright, so pretty good right off the bat there. So a couple things we might add to this one. So we'll definitely need a research hall because we can upgrade the jetpack. Now, a couple videos back, I said that there is a way to cheese it, that if you don't want to put in a research station, because you're looking at 40,000 and a time investment, you could go to a previous level where you've set up a research station that's pretty good and you have well-trained teachers and everything, and just sort of learn it there, and that way you'll have it for this level. But we're not going to do that. Anyway, so we have the gastronomy, the lecture hall. We have both of our teachers. Now we need a bathroom. And let's stick with a fairly small bathroom. So we're going to put it so it's fairly close to the, actually no, we want it so it's somewhat between, and I like sticking with the 3x3 one. Oops, 3x3, and then I can put up to 4 toilets in here. Now, being a new level, I'm going to start with just the basics, and then get in the, so we'll get in a sink and a garbage pail, and just stick with the basics for that. Now, I will eventually upgrade these to the gold. It's just right now I don't need to, and a staff room. So we do need a staff room for the people here. Now, I want the staff room so it's not too far from here. So let's actually make a quick little change to this building. So I want to put, okay, so I want to make it so that the staff room is about here. And yeah, that should be good. Okay, so that's good. And then let's add another side door if we can. Yep. And the staff room is going to look a little bit cluttered at the moment. I'm just going to put the staff room in here. That way the spies can access it pretty easily. And the cooks as well. Alright, so staff room. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so let's make you, let's do a 2x4, and I'll probably end up extending this room out a little bit at some point, but let's go with 2 entrances. So yeah, this is just sort of a quick beginner build so that I don't drag out the beginning of this too long. Very basic staff room. Oh, and radiator, of course. Alright, so we're already at campus level 4, so we're at 77,000. We can take out 2 loans if we really need to, because it never hurts to take those out if you need the money, and if you have a dire need, you can always do that and then just pay it back quickly, just to avoid the interest, but we don't need it at the moment. And we should put it in a student lounge as well, just because it allows the students to stay pretty calm. Now, I have the door up here. I could move that door out of the way. which I'm going to. So, yeah, the door here was a poor choice. So let's just move the items that I had here over to the other door and put the garbage there, as well as the receptacle. And now I'm going to put the student lounge right here. The student lounge doesn't always need to be big, but the bigger it is, the more room you have to work with things. So let's go with a 4x6, and we'll just stick with, again, the basics. So we definitely want a couch for the relationships. I really like the two-player arcade table because it takes the relationships from best friends to giga friends. And if you have the couch in, you don't really need the indoor table, but you do want something for hygiene and something for food. So actually, let's put it like that. And I don't really like just a very basic look. I kind of like something a little bit better than just, looks like you're not putting any effort in. So there we go. And then add a microwave. And yeah, I put a little bit more effort into the staff room because the students are the big thing for this game. Let's throw in a garbage beside the kitchen counter here. Oops, there we go. And then I'm going to put in the large radiator and actually a table too, just because I don't really know if they eat while standing up or not, but I still haven't actually sat there and observed it too much. Now, let's put the big radiator. So there's 3 squares there. So let's align that with the middle of the room. Let's see how that looks. So it looks like it heats that up pretty nicely. And I forgot to put a good radiator in here. So this is the large one. I want the small for the bathroom. And just like the shower, we're going to hold down control and get it so it's pretty close to the toilet and align with the wall. There we go. That heats that up. Okay, so we have bathrooms, staff room, student lounge, spy room. The only thing we don't have is a library, and I think I'm going to extend this room out when I build a library and maybe put it kind of around here and then just work on a few items. So as far as clubs go, so they have 2 classes to learn. I think we will go with, let's see what our options are. So clubs, I don't think I really care too much for the orb one. I mean, it seems like it's good getting more money, but by year 4 or 5, money is not really an issue anyway. The power nap one might be good because cooking, it's essentially going to start requiring a savory or a sweet kitchen as well. Let's get in the speed walking club, and let's put them all here because they're here. I think it's a good location. It's right between your dorms and your classes. So speed walking, the book club, and should I add the nature club? Yeah, let's add the nature. Let's just put in all 4 because money is not really too tight in this one already, and I don't think it's really going to be that much of an issue. If it is, I can always just pick those up and sell them, and then the kids will start joining another club. It'll eventually fix itself. And I don't need to put any extra items in, so we're going to close that. We're just going to fix the few little issues here, so we just need to make sure that they have food and drink. So let's start with putting the food and drink. So I added 1 here, and let's put 1 in what's going to eventually be the main campus building. So I want to move this garbage bin just over to the other side, and then add the food here. Now I don't have any kiosks out because right now we also don't have an assistant, but we do have a few little changes. So we have our first savory kitchen, a staff room that can easily be extended out, but at least there's a nice little path between the buildings. Let's get in another little radiator, and we're going to put it... Can it fit there? Yes. Okay, so I think that heats it up just enough. So hopefully the students don't spend too much time trying to go through this entrance, and they use the other one. If it does become an issue, I might just delete this door. I'm almost tempted to do it right now anyway. Yeah, let's delete this door so they don't get caught in there. Delete. And just save that. And then we are just going to quickly extend this room out so it's a little bit bigger. So it was a 2x4, now it's a 5x3. And fix the few little problems. So the door here can go. This one can go. And there we go. So the staff room issue is fixed. Let's put this right here. Okay, there we go. Now, any other changes? So just doing the heat and everything here. So we're going to use a few large radiators just because they seem to be the better choice. So we're going to put one here. That's going to heat up a good portion. We're going to put one over here. That seems to do pretty good. And then we'll line one right here. Okay, so the area is pretty well heated with just 3 radiators. And we still have a fair bit left. Is there anything else I should add right now? So we have a library, lecture theater, medical office, and pastor support we probably will need soon as well. So let's just put a very basic one of each one in beside the spy school. So let's make them 4x4s just so that there is room to expand a little bit. These are other rooms that I don't usually end up putting a lot of effort into, but they are necessary. So we have our pastor support and our medical office, and all you really need is just the one item in there. The rest is just kind of topping on the cake. And can we hire a decent assistant and put radiators in there? Okay, so let's line it up there and line it up there. Alright, so that takes care of that. And assistants. Okay, so we have somebody that has the first aid and not really the best person. So let's just quickly clear some of this out. So first aid and marketing seems to be a really bad choice. The librarian's not that good. This one, I hope we don't get stuck with just this one here. Let's see what we get. So they're giving first aid and marketing again. What are their stats? Lollygagger and gross. So it's not even a good reference list there. Okay, and you know, we're just going to go with him. I think I was putting too much stock into just the references. I don't know if it's really all that necessary too. So now that we have 20 points, we can upgrade the spy school. And then by upgrading it, we can just reset it to default. So we're still not at 16. Now we could go with 14. Actually, if you drop the tuition a little bit, then you're doubling the class size. So, but actually it's a pretty decent idea. Let's go with that and double the amount of students that we get. Confirm that. And it looks like it didn't require another classroom, so we're good on that front. I think when I have to put in my next gadget lab, I'm going to extend this out and maybe have the gadget lab up here, and then maybe extend the hallway so there's an entrance here, and then put a single path along and do a little bit of rearranging. That way I can have the path go all the way over here. So I might move everything over one square, add a single path along, or maybe just the dorm, and then put it down here. So that's my idea for a little bit later. Let's turn off the temperature. And the attractiveness level is not really that high. I haven't really poured any money into the carpets or anything yet. But let's begin the year and just see what they need. So we're getting, so we're getting 24 students now. And we have enough for 20 students, so we are going to add one more bed. There we go. Alright, so we have to complete 3 research projects, get the campus up to level 10, and a B grade spy school. So we are definitely going to need a research room, so there's really no point in trying to cheese the game whatsoever. But it's 40,000 for a research room. So let's just do a minor adjustment. So we're going to put a path along here. Maybe a 2-length one. And then I'm going to put the research room. Yeah, there's no way I could extend it out to here. So let's put the... You know, I don't like the way that's looking. Okay, let's pick the dormitory up. Shoot, I have to move the shower first. Yep, cancel that. Let's pick up the shower. Move it over 1 block. Yep. And do the same with the dormitory. And then, there we go. I Tetrised it up. Alright, now we can do the overview. So I want to put a single path up. Oops. So this is where I'm going to have my research room. And it's not going to be a massive one, but I want it so that I can get maybe a door in here. I probably should, well, if I knew that was going to be a requirement, then I probably would have done that sooner. But let's get in. Okay, so to do that, I have to take out loans. Oops. All right, so let's take out the $100,000 loan, just in case, and let's go with a nice little research room, research lab, and it only has to be 4x4. So with the research lab, you don't really need to go too overboard. I mean, especially when you're starting before you can put in the supercomputers, there's not a lot of point in really putting a ton of effort into it. So let's put a door on each side. Just for the heck of it. And let's add one more side entrance here. So this way the people that need to research can actually get in there easier. Now we can do Jetpack too. So we're definitely going to want to upgrade. Actually, is there anything that's 25,000? 150 days. Let's go with the Jetpack. Okay. All right, so we are back in the game. So let's actually just make a quick adjustment because the research lab didn't cost much. So repay that, and now we're dealing with less interest each month. So let's see about hiring maybe one more teacher. So we have a lollygagger, bottomless pit, squeaky clean, and gross. So 3 out of 4 are not really great, but we are going to need another chef for year 2 for sure. So we might as well get you doing something. And how's our temperature here? Probably need to add another radiator. So where is a minor one? There we go. And let's put minor one here and the minor one here. So just keep the temperature up. Okay, so it is cold outside, so I should add a couple radiators around. Now I like putting them in somewhat good locations. So let's put one here. Let's put one there, and how far do we have to go? Oh, actually move this down a little bit then. Okay, so that should be good. And maybe put another one fairly close to this door here. Okay, so that covers it for the most part. I don't think they really need to go down there. If they do and I start seeing the mark there, then I can always fix it later. And one more for the research lab. Okay. Alright, so I think this is pretty decent. So they're working on the lecture hall, and then they're also working on researching the upgrade for the jetpack station. So let's turn off the heat and actually see how they do here. So they take the little elevator down and then use a jetpack. That would be way, way cooler than cars. I would definitely use a jetpack, even with like a 50% fatality rate. Just, yes, I'm going really fast, and the end. No, of course I wouldn't really do that. That would be insane. Okay, so they upgraded to Lecture in 3. Alright, now they need some items. So a bookworm is a relatively cheap item to go with. And let's put it beside the two vending machines there. A sleepy sheep, we can easily put that. Let's put it somewhat close to the dormitory. And maybe one near the classroom, just because. I mean, it's only 1,000. Speed walking sign. Okay. Let's put that beside the lectern, and then one somewhere around this kitchen area. Okay, let's put it right here. Okay, and now they have 2 required items. So study cubicle for the library. Okay, so we definitely have to build a library. Now, to do that, what I wanted to do was extend this room out a fair bit. So let's get that done now, because there's no way around it. And let's make it so that the library is going to be here, maybe? Okay, so I'm gonna have to do something about the door here first. Let's put in... Yeah, I want to put a library in here. But can I move the door while it's under construction? Yeah, we can just sell all those items. So... Okay, good. So now we can put in a library and maybe extend this out a little bit eventually, but the library does not have to be that big to start. So we only need a 3x3. Let's go with a little bit bigger just to begin, and we'll put the entrance right here. So you can either go with just the basic receptacle there or the large library reception. I prefer the large library reception. I mean, even though it's a bit more, I think it's always worth it. So they do want a records cubicle as well, but let's just go with let's do the 3 that I always do. So I want computer, textbook, and study, because they always end up looking for different ones there. So is there enough to maybe... Okay, so let's make it a little bit larger. Can that go against the wall? Yep. Okay, and let's move it so it's closer. There we go. And then the red, let's move that closer as well. They are not quite lined up right, so move them a little bit closer to the wall. There we go. And now a records cubicle, so for that we're going to have to take the loan out again. Okay, so let's get this finished first. Okay, so no, I don't want to delete that. Crap, I don't think I can. So let's actually cancel that. So we'll just have to make a little adjustment because I didn't make sure I had enough money firsthand. Okay, and let's do that. So that's finished. We'll take out the loan and then fix the little mistake I made. So we cancel that, and let's put in the large one again. Yep, there we go. Okay, and now the library is done with the requests that they wanted. Average food rating is 75 that we have to meet. Right now it's at 73. And yeah, it's shaping up decently already. So we already have people joining the clubs. Yeah, because I couldn't, like, looking at the spy stuff, I couldn't really think of one to focus on. At least not yet. So now they're just joining clubs at random. But it's good. I mean, that will really help later on when I just have to start throwing items down randomly to use up all the money. Okay, so they're asking for a topiary. Now, can we put this pretty much just anywhere? Yes, we can. So let's make it... So let's put one by some of these doors here. It's 500 for the topiaries, and they carve them into nice little items as well. Okay, so before we get too far, we want to make sure that the students stay on a path. So what I like doing is making it so that the path always follows the door. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go like that. So we have a nice little path from door to door there, and then a nice little path for this door to come down to each one here. So I know it's not the fanciest thing at all yet, but at least it's a little path for them to go on. And let's change this from, I mean, it's not like we really need to set this up for cars or anything as far as I know, so let's make that a little dirt road. And is this an item or no? I don't like the fact that that's sort of just painted on, because it kind of looks tacky with the road here. Oh well, I guess there's nothing I can really do about that yet. So let's make this our little dirt area, and then it'll eventually be a park or something. Oops. Nope. So there we go, and one more block. Okay, so now we have a nice little dirt area to work with, and then I can put nature items and stuff around there as needed, but right now it's not needed. So loans. Let's quickly repay that so we don't have to deal with the expense too much. And our monthly income is 11,000 right now. That'll go up soon. But yeah, the research project is the big one to try and get. That's going to be a little bit difficult. Getting bees is not going to be too bad. I could go for a burger. Not a burnt burger, but a good burger. Okay, actually, now that we have the money, let's get the lectern upgraded to level 3. And we're most likely going to need another lectern once the second year starts, but that's months and months away. The county's enemies will do anything they can to infiltrate the campus, undermine our operation, and unsettle national security. The rascals, they even sent moles to blend in with our spy school students. Here's everything you need to know about moles. Okay. I hope you were listening. Oh, okay, they are continuing. Spy school students can be moles, sent by our enemies. Moles will sabotage nearby classmates and distract them from learning. Spot sabotage by watching out for clouds of confusion. One of the students in the cloud is a mole. Track the clouds to identify which student it follows before expelling your suspect to reveal if they were the mole. Okay, so we have to expel here. Alright. I did see confusion around in the first class, I guess. I saw those little circular icons above the student's head. So I guess I'm going to have to watch out for that. So let's place a love bench. And let's do it. Let's put the love bench here. Okay, there we go. So we have that. Mayoral visit. It went pretty well. Okay. Moles will distract and delude other students into performing poorly and learning slowly. We're hearing that there's already a mole on campus. Find them and expel them. Okay. Okay, so I'm not seeing... Okay, so it's one of these guys. So he's sabotaged. He's sabotaged. What? I guess that's the expel button. Sabotaged. Sabotage. Sabotaged. Okay, so they're all sabotaged. And I don't see any indication of which one it could be. Okay, so I guess it's this one here because I'm getting the icon on it. So that's weird. Why? Okay, there really doesn't seem to be any indication. Okay, so secret sources. Occasionally discovers research projects, speedwalker. So yeah, there doesn't look like there's any real visual indication for which one is the spy. I mean, you got some that are wearing glasses, some in different clothes. First I thought it would be this one here because he's creeping, but it says that like this is the one to expel. And okay. Okay. So, huh. Okay. So maybe when, well, I'm not sure about the future yet, but maybe when you find the spy in a group, it'll give that little icon or that little sound to alert you that that is the spy. Because I didn't see anything visually different, so you don't want to just start expelling expelling students randomly, but you also don't want your students to be sort of stuck not learning anything. Okay. Alright, so we have one moron right here in the middle of the floor, and I don't know why. So let's put maybe a bench or two around so that they can maybe sit in some places, and that might help with preventing them from just going right on the floor there for some odd reason. Okay, and then maybe a little water cooler. We'll put one beside some of the areas here, and one over here. And then I like the car bench because it develops best friends and relationships. So you want it so that it's in a spot where people can sit easily, but they're not blocked. So this is actually a decent spot because it allows them to go into the bench area, and it's being right against the wall. It's somewhat out of the way. But yeah, I kind of like there. Alright, so I don't know if the spies are just going to be for the spy classes, or if I'm also going to see them in the food courts as well. So our food rating's pretty good. We are on the fastest speed. We are definitely going to have to get the campus level up. There's no way we're hitting 5 levels by the end of today. And money is coming in. Let's see. Can we pay off any more loans yet? Okay, so we can pay off the big one. And we'll do that just before the end of the year when we're charged interest. So, there we go. Just in time. So the loan payment was only $2,000. I don't know what it would have been otherwise. Okay. Yep, so our students are averaging C+ right now. Our campus did level up. Let's get in a private tutor room, just because I think they're going to need it. And this will make a 3x4 as well. So we have our private tutor room, and we have our 2 other rooms there. And then we can just pick this heater up, move it over just a touch. Now the private tutor room needs 2 items. So let's put the desk there, and let's put the chalkboard right in the middle there. And then they also need a radiator. So not being a very large room, we can just throw that. We'll put it right there for now to heat up the room nicely. And there we go, private tuition room. Alright, so we're just going to get this year finished, and hopefully our students are doing pretty good. So if you want to check out your student ratings, the hotkey is 2 still. And so we have 1D. Let's get you into private tuition. So the oranges are usually the ones that are pretty much where I set the cutoff for. So we have 4 students going to private tuition. And there we go. And then we'll probably put another private tuition room in here eventually. But we're just going to have to work on extending some of this out a little bit. So year 2 is probably going to need a lot more of that, because I'm definitely going to need another kitchen, savory one, if it's anything like the gastronomy level from before. Year 2 is where they introduce that because the students need it. I'll probably need, I don't know if there's going to be another room like this that unlocks, but there's plenty of room for the spy stuff to expand upon. And somebody just got a C+, so that's decent. And teacher's just writing a bunch of gibberish on the board there. So we don't have a pastor. Let's see if we have a pastor. Okay, good. So we can get squeaky clean, dry mouth, and bottomless pit, or this one here that can do both. So excellent. That was a good buy. And what were you? You were squeaky clean, but dry mouth and bottomless pit. So we're going to keep you for a little while longer. And since I have so much kudosh, what I'm going to do is just kind of go through something here. So, excuse me. So you can get a bunch of the other things here. The only problem is that I don't really like the look of it. I don't feel like it really does much for the look of them. But I think I'll pick a slightly different look. So I got a career goal completed for just randomly unlocking things. And so spy, you want something dark? Let's go with blue. Blue, is there a black one? Stripy black? So let's make this a Men in Black type theme. So let's make all of our staff in black. let's just unlock most of these anyway because we have all the kudosh to use up. Plus, I've already unlocked most of the stuff in this game anyway. So is there a black vest for the assistants? No. So let's go with blue vest or a stripy blue vest. Let's go with a stripy blue vest. And then for the janitors, quickly unlock everything because why not? And so there's gray overalls and white. Okay, so I made the assistants have blue, the teachers have black, and let's make the janitors in white. So black, blue, and white. And let's make sure we apply it to all the staff of this type. There we go. Okay, so I got 2 career goals probably for unlocking all that stuff, and I probably got quite a bit from the previous levels. So I got the gold for musicality, I got the gold for the counterculture, and nothing else there, nothing else here. Star rating, or the total of 24 stars, so I got the silver for that. 10,000 library assignments, alright, so I hit gold for that. Teachers, train 300 teachers, alright, I've been on my game for that. Gold for academic excellence. And so, 14 staff customizations, that is the gold, so we can claim that one. And last one is the Student Choice Awards, so we're at the gold. So you can tell by the little kind of hilly circle around each of the ones which ones are actually done. So unfortunately there's not a filter for the ones that are done as opposed to seeing the ones that aren't yet. But I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. A lot of times I kind of ignore the career goals now anyway. But whenever there's a new one, you'll see the little orange star there. Alright, so let's continue on with the game. And let's see about hiring another teacher. So we have 2 cooking teachers. Let's see about a spy one, because we'll probably need a spy as well for the next year. And this one has inspiration, but it's dry mouth. Dry mouth isn't really a deal breaker, but hunger and dry mouth is not good. And no, not you. So our spy only has 1 negative trait. So let's see about getting a new spy in, and then the new spy can work in the research area a little bit, if it's good. And he's not. Okay, so we didn't get a good spy. They do have a request. Gym wanted. Okay, so we will want to put in a gym, but we're not going to want to do it just yet. We have how long to do it? A year to do the gym. Let's extend this area out a bit. So we'll put the gym in this corner here and make it a fair size one. So let's extend this out a bit. And there we go. And that sells a couple items. I'm not even sure what those are. Alright, so we'll sell the invalid items for $0. And then the gym can go in this area. And I might put another door up here as well. Okay, so gym. Gyms shouldn't be that expensive. So 9,000 for the gym. Good. Let's put the gym, let's make it a 4x8. Alright, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, yeah, we'll put the door here. And let's do the rock climbing just because I know it's 6,000 as opposed to 4,000. And in the beginning, I usually do everything I can to save up a bit of money. But we also don't want to be too cheap in our selections. So we want the rock climbing, and we're going to go with the long jump, vaulting course. Okay, so I think that's good enough for that. Now, like I said, I wanted to put another door in here just so that they can get around a little bit better. And I think I might... now, there's no point in just deleting a door unnecessarily. So let's just check our temperature. Now, since it's a big gym, we want to put in a big radiator. And since it's not really that full at the moment, let's see about aiming it more towards the center. So let's put it right there. Oops. Oh, okay, because I didn't click accept the change that I made. Okay. That's why I couldn't put it in the room properly yet. So that looks about center for everything, and then we can pick this up and move it here so that everything's a bit warmer, and there we go. Now, continuing on with year 1. Lovely. Okay, so we have toilets here. I probably should put another bathroom in here. So, since my bathrooms are pretty much not really different from one another, I'm just going to do a quick copy and paste. Oh, and I didn't put a radiator in the library. That's my bad. I just wasn't paying attention. I got a little carried up into other things. So, there's a lot of items that you can add to the library, and we're going to put a large radiator in, just because I do plan on extending it out eventually. And I might tend to forget if I don't. Alright, so we'll also copy the other radiator over here, just so that the heat stays pretty good. And this year is going pretty decently so far. I mean, I'm not making any phenomenal strides at the moment, but campus level has to get up to 10, and they still haven't completed a research project. I was going to hire a teacher for that. So we have one that's a spy, and he does have plus 20 research skills, so let's put you specifically in here. And the food is not that far off. Do I have food up here too? So there's food in both buildings. Now, just to be a little bit, just to make the trip a little bit easier, let's also put food right near the, oh, now we hit level 7. Okay. And let's put the radiator right here. That should be fine. Now, let's make a small change because I don't think we need this area so much. It's just unheated area. So there we go. Now that we don't have to worry about the cold there. And continue on. So at least he's actually starting the research project. Then if he gets it finished this year, then maybe by the end of year 2, we'll see the 3 stars finished. And then we can work on the second. But we're still a little bit of ways away from that. So the food rating is not really too much of a concern right now. I have the lectern upgraded. Let's get the... Okay, so I don't have 10,000 yet to start upgrading. So might as well take out a loan for that, just so I can at least get that started. Let's take out this loan, repay that. Only have one loan out at a time, and there we go. So we're now upgrading the food area. We can't get this upgraded until the research finishes, but at least that will help with the first kitchen. So monthly profit, we're in the green. We have reason to believe that there's a mole on campus. Okay, so now keep an eye out for a mole. One of you people. Okay, let's see. Is clicking on it going to give that same alert? Nope, that's a staff member. Okay, so if the mole is somewhere around here, so there definitely doesn't seem to be any indication of which one it is. They're all feeling sabotaged. Bursting sabotage, he's a staff member, and he's sabotaged as well, so I just don't know how it really works. Secret sources, that's occasionally discovers research project. So, I mean, unless I'm missing something. Board. Yeah, there just does not seem to be any indication of which one is the mole. Hostile, happy. Yeah, they're all sabotaged. Max binds. Maybe it's in the name? I don't know. The only one I can think is maybe this one, but the problem with that is that there just doesn't seem to be any real indication which one the mole is. Oh wait, did it say mole? No. Nope. Nope. Okay, so I definitely can't tell which one is the mole. So it's So it looks like the stars have disappeared. Okay. Okay, so this one just got confused again. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to try and figure out what to look for in the spies. Because whatever they're doing for this level, I'm just not seeing it. I have some confused people. Good thing I have two people that are in the pastor's office, but I just don't like that I keep seeing these little things around and there's just no indication of which student it is. Like, at least for the first one, it gave you that little beeping warning, but that's not happening now, and there's like no aura or anything around them. Nope. 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 I don't know. Well, I think by the next video I'll probably read up on that because, like many of the last few levels, I'm essentially going in blind. So they're all confused, and that's definitely going to affect this level quite a bit. So how are our students doing? Probably not too well because of all that confusion. We have a few F students here that have to go to private tuition, but yeah, I'm definitely going to have to figure out how to check for that spy because that's actually a new thing for this level, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. So let's get all the oranges sent into private tuition. They're just all sabotaged now though, which really sucks for their grades for the first year. It's just trying to keep an eye out for where the sabotage appears. But like all these students right now, okay, you're the only one that's not sabotaged. Well, you and okay, you're sabotaged. You're all sabotaged. Okay, let's just quickly go into the students. So that one's not sabotaged. Nope. Nope. Maybe by the course. But I think that the cooks were getting sabotaged as well too, because nope. 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 Okay, are any of the cooks sabotaged? No. So maybe it's just a spy thing, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's just see if any visual signs appear. Did I check everybody in here? So, yeah, feeling sabotaged. Feeling sabotaged. 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 And sabotage. So all the spies right now are sabotaged in that class. And so the only thing I can think of that it must be somebody here. It's just I don't know how to check because if they are doing anything right now, they're not currently working on any of the other people. So a couple people are in danger of failing out. Okay, so the cook didn't get sabotaged. Okay, this is just confusing for me, this level. Huh. Well, I think this is a rough first year for them. hopefully I get all the guys passing. If not, then I don't know. I'm just gonna have to improve from there. I think in summer break I'll be able to get probably up to campus level 10, no problem. But it's just the research projects that are the issue. And did I just finish a month? Nope. So let's repay that and try and get to 50,000. What are they asking for here? So a crescent bench, we can swing that. Let's put the crescent bench right here. Okay, and are they still working on? Yep, they're still working on the project there. The super chef is upgraded at least one level. Okay, so yeah, my main problem is just the spies. So you're not sabotaged, but I don't want to just necessarily fire you or expel you just because. Like, there's just no indication. No aura or anything. This guy's kind of sneaking around a little bit. And he's not sabotaged. Okay, he is sabotaged. Well, I think I'm going to close out the year with not the best students right now, but I'm definitely going to figure that one out between year 1 and 2, even if I have to look it up. Alright, so we have our coffee kiosk. I think we have, how many assistants? 2. And I think they both have the first aid, so let's get one that has something else. Let's see. Squeaky clean, but weak bladder. Fortunately, I do have a bathroom right by the library. Okay. Yeah, all my spy students are sabotaged right now. I mean, it's a good thing I have 16 instead of just 8, but... Oh, we're almost finished the suggestion.
Students are reminded to be in 2 places at once.
So yeah, some of our guys are definitely at risk of failing. But, hey, if you see what the problem is that I'm just clearly overlooking, feel free to leave it in the comments. And I'll definitely reply, but I don't know. I guess I kind of feel like an idiot right now for not seeing what the heck the mole indicators are. Okay. So the year finished, and let's see what kind of results. Music incoming. Okay, so we got 2 failures and 1 expulsion. So that was the first one that we kicked out. So I guess we're going to have to work on that a little bit more. That's where our spies come from. Now, I guess you probably could put in like the max amount of effort and write down every student's name that comes in. Okay. Now, stay calm, but we're trusting you with some new top secret facilities. It's the finest espionage equipment on this side of the Pointy Mountains. They call it the Panic Room. Alright, so it looks like we're definitely going to have a new room for the spy one, and we're also going to have to add another sweet kitchen in. So, like I said, year 2 for gastronomy. It looks like it's going exactly the same. We're going to have to add a sweet kitchen. And we're just... Oh, we completed the research project? Oh, excellent. Okay, so now let's get Jetpack 3 upgraded. Alright, so that's set for research for year 2. We can upgrade the spy to level 3. And we are going to take in... So we would need 24 students. So let's reset that to default. Let's get that down to 16. Okay, and actually up the cost. So 11,000 per student. Apply those changes. So we're getting more each month. And gastronomy, we can take in... Whoops. No. Okay, so we'll take in 8 students for gastronomy. So we're going to keep the gastronomy not hyper-focused on that. We're definitely going to work on the spy school more because we've already done gastronomy. And so I have a bit of work between year 1 and 2. I need to get that the spy one, the panic room built in. I need to get a sweet kitchen, so How much is this? 60,000 or MT45? How are we doing as far as loans? So, okay, so we can take out all the loans. So I have 397,000 to work with. I do have a bit of work in this campus, so I'm just going to try and fix that, do a little bit of rearranging. I'm not going to cross lines with the campuses like I did in Pebbleby Ruins. Pebbly Ruins? Pebbleby. That's such an easy word. Why did I screw up so much? But yeah, I'm not going to screw up like that one and try and get the building across these lines because I think that was the thing causing so many errors and seeing so many of the exclamation marks. But yeah, I have two more research projects to do. The campus I should have at level at least 8 or 9 by the time I get back. And yeah, just get my grades up because, well, we're at a C plus average. So I think we can easily get up to a B grades. Okay, so B grade spy school classes. So that's just when you see the bar across here, every time they have classes, they have an average for the class. So 10 for B, it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, getting A plus in Pebbleby Ruins was definitely a chore, but B is really easy to hit. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I hope I do a bit better in year 2, but I think the campus is already looking fairly nice, just a bit of expansion, and have a good night. See you next time.